All right, so, excuse me, we have the 3 points. It is translated 3 units up, so that would be plus 3, and 2 units to the right, so that would be plus 2. Since this is up, that means that it's y. Since this is to the right, that means it is x. Remember, x-axis always moves left and right. Y-axis always moves up and down. It was on your reference sheet. We've talked about it. You should know your x and y axis by now. Okay? So from there, let's look at this. I have the point -2, -2. So in place of x, I'm going to put -2 plus 2. In place of y, I'm going to put -2 and then plus 3. Sorry, this is supposed to be there. Okay? So this is going to be this new point. So what's -2 plus 2? 0. Good. What's -2 plus 3? 1. Good. So let's do the same thing for the O. The O was originally at 4, -2. I am now taking my 4 and I'm adding 2 to it. I am now taking -2 and adding 3 to it. So the new point is at 6, +1. Okay? Now let's do the same thing for V. V was originally at 4, 3. So I'm going to do 4 because that's my x plus 2, and 3 because that's my y, plus 3 because that's my rule. So that gives me 6, 6. Okay? Now, I know that may be a little bit confusing. If you would rather graph them, that's perfectly fine. I understand. Okay? A lot of people are way better at looking at geometry on a graph or visualizing it than they are doing the math for it, which is why geometry is kind of nice for those who are not as great at solving equations. Okay? So now, at the bottom, it says that they want us to pick A, B, C, or D to describe the transformation. So we're going from figure 1 to figure 2. So we're going to pick a point. Doesn't matter which point. Let's do E. So E to E prime. Okay? Let's kind of go through and draw, right? So, how many up and down is it? Okay? It's 5. So, from here to here, did it go down or up? Down. So this is going to be your y, whatever it is, minus 5. Okay? What about your x? How many boxes is that? 1, 2. Okay? And I started at figure 1, and I ended up here. So did I go left or right? Left. So this is going to be a negative. So which one of these 4 below says that x is going to be minus 2 and y is going to be minus 5? B. Good job. All right. We are almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Now, we are going to switch to the type of transformation we are doing from translations to reflections. So, to perform a reflection, each point of a pre-image, and again, that just means wherever you started, is copied to the opposite side of the line of reflection and remains equidistant, which just means same distance apart, okay, from the line. So just like we started with on the very first page, let's go through and let's write what G, H, and I's coordinates are. Okay? So it says G is at +1, +2. H is at 3, +2. And I is at +1, 0. So now we're going to write where these three coordinates ended up. So same thing, let's write the coordinates. G prime is at 1, -2. H prime is at 3, -2. I prime is at 1, 0. It didn't actually move. So X, Y is where we started. When you went to the image that was reflected, what do you notice? What changes? What didn't change? Okay, so the Y's changed, right? It's kind of the opposite. So when you're writing that, that just means that X stays the same and your Y is now a negative. Whatever it was before, it just becomes negative. Okay, so we're going to write that in words. So when a shape is reflected, over the x-axis, when a shape is reflected over the x-axis, the x-coordinates will stay the same. The x-coordinates will stay the same. But the y-coordinates will flip signs. If it was positive, it would be negative. If it was negative, it would be positive. So, taking a second to think about that. Over the x-axis changes the y-coordinate to the opposite. What if we did the flip of that? What if we reflected it over the y-axis? Would the y change or would the x change? The x's would be the negative this time. Okay? And again, realistically, I want you to be able to say, well, from the x-axis, the h is 2 away, so the h prime needs to be 2 away. Like, that's realistically what you're looking at for reflections. Okay? Now for the bottom, we are going to, we just talked about this, going from BAM to BAM prime. Bam. What happens from here to here? It's reflected. We know that. How is it reflected, though? Over the y-axis. We just talked about when that happens, the x is going to be the thing that is now negative, and the y will stay the same. Again, this is 1 away. That's 1 away. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Okay? So in 7th grade, it was a lot more of the pictures. In 8th grade, it's a lot more of the symbolic representation. All right? Let's look at the last page.